Gather round and let me tell you a story of realms long forgotten. There are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Tilda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Katia Donahue, a human bard.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cloak of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Al, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the dungeon master on this adventure. Good evening, everybody. How are you and your beautiful faces?
Thank you, DM
Hi.
Dan. Good and you.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, we are here and you are there, and we're gonna play some D&D if that's okay with you, because it's okay with
Yeah.
me, and I would love to.
Let's do it.
Beautiful. So, last session, we had a bit of a fight on our hands, didn't we? In an exotic and foreign location.
The Shadowfell. A dream holiday destination.
Yes. Yeah. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
I mean, if you don't like the getting sunburned, it's a great destination.
Right. Yes. So the Warhounds were up to some heroic hijinks in the last session, and you successfully managed to escape with your lives. But the story, as we can well see, does not end there. So, who would like to see where it goes next?
Yeah.
Me.
Let's go.
Hey, cool. So,
Hope it goes somewhere nice.
that's doubtful. We rejoin the Warhounds as they escape the dark pall of the Shadowfell, a black mirror to the world, a realm of emotionless drudgery and isolation, through a portal built upon the prison ship, the Penitent Martyr. Their mission to locate and rescue kidnapped Suzailan citizens, granted to them by ex-Warhound Guild member Magnus Cobbleson, has been successful. The true identity behind the kidnappings has been revealed to be none other than the war wizards of Project Implacable. Known to be a secretive operation to create an advanced, autonomous soldier to fight for the glory of Cormyr, the ramifications of Sharan operatives working so close to the heart of Cormyr's military raises some worrying questions, exacerbated by the alliance between the Sharans and the Illithids. This may not be the thought on the mind of one of the Warhounds, however. Once upon a time, in a small halfling community in the north of Cormyr, two halflings came together in holy marriage. It would seem that not even death can keep them apart.
Oh. Very cute.
So, we rejoin our heroes as you emerge through the portal from the Shadowfell Penitent Martyr, and you arrive back in the room which you went in through, back in what you hope to be the real world. Above your head, you can hear, panic cries and clamoring. There's a lot more activity upstairs than there was when you first left. But given that you are now accompanied by a dozen or so common, like Suzailan ex-prisoners who you've rescued, let's say, who's first through the portal? Who do we reckon was
Sure.
first through?
Was it be
Balthazar.
Was it?
Yeah, I was going to say, did Wombat Balthazar come through the portal? He did. So
Okay.
I imagine he was first through.
Yeah.
So the Wombat Balthazar is further through the portal. I believe Slate and Katya, I think, were the first to the portal, followed by Hiram and Emily, followed by Zumbo, Balthazar, and Daisy. So Katya and Slate, as you emerge through the portal back onto the ship, you can see this wombat just kind of wobbling, like side to side, going panicking, as there are sounds of footsteps approaching. You suspect they may well be the Draven Marauders from upstairs. Explain to me how you managed to kind of overcome them and allow the Warhounds to make it upstairs. Starting with Katja.
Oh, God.
Yeah, blag away.
I still have some 4th level spells, so I imagine I'm either throwing confusion at them or... Yeah, I guess I'm just throwing confusion onto them.
Okay, go. And Slate, how are you kind of staving off this advance of Draven Marauders?
Oh God. I guess look over there won't help.
You give it a go. Are you still? I think actually you may well still be in the form of an air elemental myrmidon.
Ooh.
So you actually emerge as an armored creature made up of swirling winds with a lightning crackling flail hanging low at your side.
I guess do some cool shit with that.
Cool,
Wait,
brilliant.
let me have a look.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. So, if we're looking at cool shit, so Katya and Slate, as you're the first to emerge into this portal room, you can hear the footsteps of the Draven Marauders kind of coming from all, both angles, all sides, and as the doors burst open and the Marauders look to you, and Katya, you recognise. Actually, I don't think anyone would have, and I don't think anyone saw them. So, yeah, as the doors burst open. Katya, your eyes glow white as you cast the confusion spell, and it buys enough time as the Draven Marauders kind of and their heads start lolling from side to side. And with lightning speed, you watch as Slate flies around and just cracks them to unconsciousness and or death with this spiked flail.
And or death.
So as that happens, Hiram and Emily, you emerge from the portal next, you can see there are some Draven Marauders kind of scattered about. As you kind of step out to check the approach is coming, you can see that there is a war wizard heading in your direction. What do you do?
I assume
Emily knows.
Hiram is going to try to pick up Emily and hide, and Emily is already aiming.
Okay, so in that case, as you kind of stick your head out, see this war wizard coming, kind of go to pull back, like you think Emily's under your hand, but as your hand just swipes air, and you look as she just strides out, closes one eye, and this war wizard kind of draws a sword and staff, levels it at your half-orc squire as she fires a bolt, and the bolt like hits him in the neck.
I'm having what was the movie? The Lost Ark, the boss face, Indiana Jones moment.
Indiana Jones. Yes, yeah, not far off. That said, the wizard has this kind of bolt sticking out of his neck, but looks down and still has his staff raised, and it seems to be pointing at Emily. What do you do?
I mean, is the close clear now? Was it the only one?
It's just the one wizard in the corridor. Yeah, he's close enough to charge if you want to go in, or you can kind of grab Emily and hide back around the corner if you like.
No, at this point, I think the damage is done. I am going to try to rugby tackle him.
Sure. So in which case, as you run forward, you like this war wizard. You see a mote of fire kind of conjure at the tip of the staff. It fires towards you, but you manage to duck under it, and you catch this war wizard in the midriff with your shoulder plate. And given that this is quite a cramped environment, as you kind of stand up to full height, you manage to like smack the war wizard against the roof above you, the ceiling above you, and as the war wizard drops down dead, you notice the bolt is driven further into his neck, and he stops moving.
That's not what I meant to do. Whoopsie.
Whoopsie doopsie. Okay, so last but not least, Balthazar and Zumbo, you come like sprawling through the portal, which, and as you turn to look at this kind of grey, wispy curtain, and you see a number of sort of like shadowy hands reaching out and clutching for you. Zumbo, one kind of grabs your ankle, and you panic for a moment before you manage to break yourself free. But as you all make your way up to the deck of the ship, you you hear someone say, I'm not paid enough for this. You hear someone say, and Balthazar and Zumbo, as you emerge, you see Zumbo, you see the face of a particular pirate captain, Cormyr Stenger, and he looks to you, and he says, and sort of like flanking him are two shadow mastiffs. Katia, you recognise this captain to be the one you got the keys off of. Zumbo and Balthazar, what do you do?
I know what I'm going to do. What do you want to do?
I think as we herded our released prisoners upstairs, Zumbo would have been arming them from the armory that we ran through, and giving them this, using his inspiring leader to give them this uplifting speech about how they're going to win their freedom. Real sort of Lord Farquaad stuff. Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. All of that, and he's just going to shoo them towards this pirate captain.
Okay, Balthazar.
Balthazar will summon the waves with control water and attempt to sweep them off the deck.
Okay, good golly. Right, so this
those two plans did not work well together.
So, okay, in which case, this Draven captain, Captain Stenger, like looks to you and sort of like with a slightly bloodshot eyes that you can attribute to that bottle of whatever he was drinking earlier this night, points to you and sort of like shouts a command, and the two shadow mastiffs pounce at you. Balthazar, your staff glows as the waters from the edge of the ship kind of spill over and then wash these two shadow mastiffs out to sea, leaving the captain on his own. And Zumbo, as you give us slight little raise an eyebrow in a smirk under your mask, this Draven captain looks at the dozen or so ex-prisoners that you've armed and riled up with your impassioned speech, and you hear him say, "No. I'm sure we can work something out." And
Get out of here!
Get him!
Overboard! Throw him overboard!
So before long, this captain is mobbed by your respective prisoners, and you hear an inevitable splash as he is carried to the edge and tossed off the edge of the ship, and there are cheers from the prisoners as this happens. So you
Very good.
The ship is, for all intents and purposes, yours. You have cleared it of war wizards and its Draven captain, or the Draven marauders. What do you wish to do now?
So this is a Cormyrian Navy ship, right?
Yes, it is an official Cormyrian Navy vessel.
And how did it come into the hands of the marauders? It was Shaurans managed to corrupt the captain. Is that right?
So Zumbo, Well, it's difficult to say, but Zumbo, you know that the Dravens are fundamentally kind of mercenaries. They don't fight for Cormyr, so you suspect maybe they were on the payroll of Project Implacable. Employed as deniable assets.
The question is, do we steal this ship or do we give it back?
We scuttle it by riding it right into the dock, and then we give it back.
Can I check this portal? Is it not something that needs to be destroyed, and can it be destroyed, or does the ship have to be destroyed to get rid of the portal? Because it seems like it's not the sort of thing you want to have open.
I think I would have dispelled it, right, Dan?
You can, yeah, if you want to take that time to do that. So, I mean, the portal is constructed. It is a teleportation circle, and it would seem that it was teleporting to, kind of effectively, it was just acting as a way gate, a planar way gate from here to the Shadowfell. Moving it might well disrupt what happens in the Shadowfell. But it is still an open gateway to the realm of death. So
can I either do some spell magic or some arcana to disable it?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so I mean that will take a little while with Balthazar out the picture. Warhounds, are you taking the ship home, or are you making your way back another way? You still have your 2 rowboats, but you've also got 12 or so prisoners.
Yeah, I think Zombo's a bit conflicted because probably don't have room for all of us in the rowboats, do we, including the prisoners?
Correct.
Yeah, but he doesn't really want this ship to just stay being a prison. You said it's got like a really horrible reputation amongst pirates, right?
Well, yeah, it's like the Alcatraz.
Yeah, so he's probably thinking, I don't really want the ship to be operational.
You could do Captain Jack Sparrow, and as Carl says, just kind of
just sail it in, slowly sinking.
Just step off the mast as it reaches the dock.
You could try and like go further up the coast and land there, and then just abandon it.
Because we want to let Ezerad know that what the Sharans have been doing here, right? But
you're right.
If I may, it's evidence in a way, but also with all the prisoners we have freed, it might be just easier to take over the ship for now and just sail it back with all the extra people.
Right.
I think Slate would like to find some sort of like dye-based things or anything or like some sort of threads or materials or whatever, and try and spend their time making a flag, and it'll be like a really crude crap flag, but like they're gonna be really, really proud of it.
Okay.
I mean,
it'll be like
for you while you do arts and craft is fine.
I love this. Okay, so we've got Balthazar.
like this.
Balthazar closing the portal. We've got Slate doing arts and crafts. I think I'll be thinking of just kidnapping the ship and then sailing it.
Should ram it into the royal docks.
Yeah, I guess Zombo would happily steer it.
Bring it in, I guess.
It might suggest to Katya that since she's got the keys from the captain still, she like go around and nick everything of value, basically.
Yeah, definitely do that. Pillage, plunder. That's what it's all about.
We just
That's
say
why
the Sharans did it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I'm good with that.
Sure. Okay. So.
I think Matching Point catches like to Zumbo, just like kneels before him. She's like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, of course I bloody am.
Okie dokie.
So, in that case, as you begin heading round, so Zumbo, you head up to the captain's wheel. You have, the anchors are raised, the sails are unfurled, and as you kind of turn the sails and the rudder, the ship slowly, laboriously begins turning towards coast. And by the gods, this is the most unwieldy ship you've ever been on. You feel your beard growing, waiting for this thing to kind of turn around. Slowly but surely, it brought it into the right facing. The sails open up fully, and you begin drifting towards the coast. Given the size of the sails and the size of the vessel, you pick up some surprising speed. It's just you're worried that if you ever have to turn, the ship might not make it. But as you all as you all sail back towards the coast, towards the mainland, you can see the sun beginning to rise as a new day dawns. As you get closer, as you begin, you can see Suzailan on the horizon. It gets bigger and bigger. You notice that a number of vessels begin sailing out towards you. And Zumbo, you kind of feel that familiar chill down your spine as you recognize these to be bearing the flags of the Blue Dragons, the Cormyrian Navy. And it seems to be kind of 2 patrol boats sailing in your direction. They are much more there's no real way of avoiding them given how much more kind of agile they are in the water. But as you as they approach, you can see kind of a number of kind of blue dragon uniformed individuals on these vessels, and some of them shout out and sort of try to get your attention. They let you know that they're boarding.
Arm the ballistas, Captain.
And not just yet. Let's. We should be able to talk our way out of it, can't you?
Okay. The first ship kind of pulls up, and Zumbo from the sort of like the captain's wheel, you can see that the ship mage of this first patrol vessel is kind of has her fingers to her forehead, and you hear, like in your mind, Penitent Martyr, state your destination. Why are you on the move?
Morning. Yeah, had a bit of a spot of pirate bother. All dealt with now, but we thought we ought to come back in just to make our report. You can. You're welcome to come on board. You can see the bodies for yourself.
So, as you reply to that sending, you hear another sending in your head. This one belonging to like an older, more gruff, kind of male voice. We heard reports of Draven marauders in the area. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I mean they boarded and we've had a bit of a barney. Lost a couple of war wizards. They're down there too, but most of the crew's on Earth. We'd appreciate an escort back to land, though. These things are might hard to steer.
Okay. You hear another response, and very well. We will escort you back to the city. And you watch as these 2 patrol boats kind of quite tightly pull kind of 180s, so they're pulling up along the flanks of the Penitent Martyr. And yeah, you notice that they're 2 kind of light sloop skiff type ships, designed to be very lightly manned, but very quick in the waters. And gathered Warhounds, you watch as you kind of sail in. Slate's had enough time. Slate, you've had enough time to create your flag off the back of your score of 11. It's not the greatest of flag,
but Slate is extremely proud of it, and is telling everyone, being like, "Do you know, I made that."
What does it look like?
Yeah, what? Yeah. Describe the flag to me.
So it's like when a child draws a dog for the first time. It's got a smiley face. It's kind of a bit like not necessarily all colored in properly, and just like very barely like a dog, and more like a kind of like teddy bear, if it was the very first teddy bear Slate had ever drawn. Okay. Which it probably was.
Unlike a background.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. Well, in which case, Slate, as you you've created this flag, and you're kind of climbing up the rigging to get to the mast, so you can, and like from your vantage point at the at the top of the main mast, you can see a couple of blue dragons, as you just unfasten the flag from the top of this ship, and it just blows off to the distance, and you attach your own kind of patchwork dog that looks like a horse flag in its place. And
Just imagine a slate side.
And sort of like Slate, from where you are, you're kind of looking down at the other two ships, and Katya, you kind of walk out with like of the chests that you were unable to get into, because a number of them were so some of the chests that you found were arcane locked, but it seems that you managed to get a good rummage around the Draven Marauders stashes, including some items that I'll specify in a bit, but as you kind of walk out with your arms full of swag, Hiram, what are you doing?
Honestly, I'm admiring the flag.
Sure. Okay. Are you stood next to Zumbo on the captain's deck?
Yeah.
Sure. And Balthazar, you've managed to kind of dispel the runes and kind of close the portal. The wispy curtain fades away like smoke. And as you come back onto the deck and look around, you all happen to glance to the ship to the right of you, and looking back are a number of familiar faces. You see a female.
So awkward.
You see a female half-orc first mate. You see a dwarf with a large cannon nearby. You see a human female medic. You see a heart on the crow's nest opposite you, Slate. You see a half-elf navigator. You also see like an older wizard who's still got his fingers to his head on the captain's deck, peering. And from the bow, the brig of the ship, up comes this portly chef with a dirty apron, kind of picking his nose. And as you recognise that this ship alongside you is, in fact, the Fortune's Claw. The recently repaired Fortune's Claw. You can see that there are acid burn marks across the front of the ship. You just see this half-orc boatswain. What the fuck?
I wave at them like.
You see this half-orc. You can from this distance, you can see the vein throbbing in her forehead as these two ships escort you in.
Why did they have acid marks?
The Kraken, I think.
Yeah, the Kraken's extra tongue.
Yeah,
Is it
that
from
was
that?
us for sure.
Yes, it's the same ship that you stole when you were heading to the Netherese Temple tower under the sea.
I honestly thought we destroyed that ship. Like I'm actually shocked they managed to repair it at all.
Well, it didn't get,
No, it got puked on, and then everyone got in the Kraken and sailed away. Just left this half melted ship in the sea to be collected later. But yes, it was
Warhound style.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you can see that like the figurehead of the Fortune's Claw has been hastily repaired. You can see that they've clearly had to saw off a bit of it and just kind of in inverted commas stick on a different figurehead. The woods are different shapes. You can see they've just kind of tried to paint over some of the acid scorch marks. The mast is at a distinct angle, where it seems like some of the construction under the ship has been kind of broken or bent somehow. But yeah, the ship still seems to be going, but you can just see this one very unimpressed face from this half-orc bosun, and she just refuses to break eye contact as you sail in towards the city.
With whom?
Maybe we should tell them. That
Actually,
we're not
Zumbo.
really...
I think Zumbo specifically. So
yeah, I think he'd probably blow her a little kiss.
So you're saying something?
Maybe we should tell them that we're not really Blue dragons.
They know.
Do they? Wow.
I think
Look
the
at the
Irish bit
flag.
kind of gives it away. Yeah, and
Oh,
the
the
flag.
flag. The flag gives it away.
Zumbo would look up and notice the flag for the first time and just like jaw. How am I going to explain this?
And then there's Cashew just standing there looking at it playing Ballad of the Warhounds.
Yes.
No, one foot on the deck of the edge of the ship, just playing it to the Fortune Claw, Ballad of the Warhounds,
and
projecting as loud as you can.
Buffalo
And it
encourages
goes into-
everyone to join. Everybody must join. There must be a chorus.
And then she goes into like the tale of like Zumbo she's been writing.
Nice.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Wait, come on, we have a performance check. I want to see it.
I think, given everything that's happening right now, it's just a straight nat 20. Fly sailing into Suzailan on a ship that's been rebranded by the Warhounds, blaring out the ballad of yes, the thing of legends. It will be a story told by these 2 Blue Dragon crews and the 12 prisoners you have for years to come.
And anyone on the docks who sees this come in.
They're not prisoners, they're our crew.
Exactly. They've been press ganged. They just don't realise it yet. Okay, so in which case, as you lot are sailing in, so Hiram, Zumbo, you're both on the captain's deck. Zumbo, you've got this kind of smug, happy glow in your stomach as you knowingly look away from this half-orc. Reeves, you think her name is, and as you just kind of smugly sail this flat-bottom beast of a ship back to coast.
So, did we actually have a plan, or are we just going to wing it?
Is there any difference? It seems like we develop our plans just one step at a time, really.
Honestly, I like to at least pretend that we plan things ahead.
Oh, yeah. In that case, yeah, we planned it all the way through here. Yeah.
Thank you. It
Don't worry
makes
about
it
it.
feel so much better.
Yeah.
So what is it on plan? Sorry.
Balthazar will cast Fairy Fire on the sails as well, so that it's now the boat is now shining as it goes into the port.
Just off in the distance, you hear, "Oh fuck!" from the half-orc bosun.
Honestly, I think you need to just enjoy the moment. Really, this is life doesn't get any better than this.
I mean, wait, is my griffin still around? Did it come through the portal?
I don't think it was. It wouldn't have been big enough to fit through the doors, so I suspect it might have just. Because you can dismiss it, presumably before it got torn apart by shadows. So, unless you're using it as a distraction.
Yeah, imagine I can also just jump on a griffin back and just
do a victory lap.
Amazing.
Yeah, and unfortunately not. No, the griffin wouldn't have fit in the corridors downstairs.
No, that's
in
fair.
the place of the ship.
Yeah, so he's obviously looking very chuffed with himself. Tells Hiram to just enjoy the moment, and then his sort of face kind of goes a bit sad, and he turns to Hiram and says, "I wish Badger was here. She'd love
So do
this."
I. Oh, she would make it so even funnier somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
she would be proud of how well you're leading us at the moment.
Thanks, Hiram. Yeah. But honestly, I learned so much from her, you know? She was the real leader, whatever I said. Don't tell anyone I said that, obviously. I'll deny it.
No, it's our secret. But also, she had a bit more time to learn how to be a leader to this specific group. Like, I assume it's quite different to lead us than to lead a crew.
Such a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, I think I need... what she taught me was that you can't lead by yourself. You need others. You need other people to help you out. Cover your blind spots, you know? And, well, now that she's not here, you know, I still think she's coming back at some point. I hope she will. But while she's gone, I need someone else to help me. I think that person's you, Evan.
Oh. I thought I was already doing that, but
Yeah, I mean, like in an official capacity as my first mate.
Oh, that's very kind. I would be honored to be your first mate.
Yeah. I mean, the crew trust you, and you're showing that you're capable. You've got a level head.
Yes.
No one I
yeah.
trust more, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and Hiro actually is blushing a bit. It seems like he's very touched.
So they'll look a bit perked up by that. Good. Well, sounds like we got a plan then.
So lying through our teeth to all these war wizards.
Yep.
Yep.
Aw, how sweet. What? Okay, so as you kind of have that conversation, I mean, Katya and Slate, is there anything? Katya, do you join Slate up on Slate? Are you staying up in the crow's nest, or are you kind of coming down after your heroic?
What
moment?
the heroic flying the flag? Definitely come down to gloat a bit and to hear everyone's compliments. They're expecting a lot of them. I imagine, and probably once seeing Katya's like hoard or stash, they'll go over and go, "Whoa! What did you get?" I feel like we don't do enough, plundering and pillaging. I mean, I know we shouldn't necessarily always do the plundering, but it is fun. What did you get?
Well, I mean, you say that. I mean, in the actual official rulebook we were given when we joined the Warhounds, it always says plunder and loot, but we never did any of that. So far, a lot of cutlery. A lot of cutlery. A few
It's all
plates.
expensive silver cutlery. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can sell this for a bit. There was
This
a
plate is beautiful.
nice bottle of whiskey from the captain. He drank most of it, but there's some left.
I
I guess you can keep that one if you want.
That's okay. I was thinking we could probably give this to Zumbo. It's kind of his thing.
Ooh.
So of note, besides your kind of cutlery and bottles of grog, one of the things that you in the captain's quarters, you managed to kind of bust the lock on this little treasure chest, and inside you found a number of what looked to be expensive gems that you reckon you could sell for a good hearty amount, but nestled among them, the one that really caught your eye was what appears to be a very expensive looking, almost pristine, crystal clear diamond.
And she's just like, yeah, just nothing but cutlery, these plates, this grog, and emeralds and jewels.
So I thought you were gonna go proper rogue and just be like, yeah, it's just cutlery actually.
She drops like all the gems down amongst the cutlery.
Yeah, don't
and-
mind
and
this
then-
gem that can save someone's life.
and then with sleight of hand, she ooh, with the very clear diamond. It's not quite Moony. I remember how much Moony meant to you, but it's like, as she just keeps turning, it's like it's so clear.
I think Slate at this point, just being absolutely wowed by any kind of sort of sleight of hand magic tricks. Big fan. Big fan. That's the real magic in this world.
It just looks to Balthazar.
How do you do that? How is she doing that? Whoa!
It's nothing to do with altering your memory that you forget that was holding it in the first place. Nothing to do with that at all. Your memory is completely unmodified.
Ah, smart.
Okay.
Is Slate just as I was going to say, not Rufus. Forgot his name. Chiron, sorry, Chiron with like a pirate outfit on for some reason.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
a little droopy hat or something. I don't know.
I think that would probably be the best way. Definitely dressing as piratey as possible, living their best pirate selves.
With the biggest feather.
With the biggest feather. Unnecessarily, whatever we found.
Yeah.
Like, Slate's doing a really bad job of trying to look like an authentic pirate. Like, has had all the ideas of what it sounds like listening to like Zumbo stories and been like,
So,
Yes.
can we see this happening? By the way, the outfit and everything from where we are standing.
I can't help but imagine that you can.
More importantly, can the other blue dragons see it?
Yeah.
100%.
Zomboy, should I go and talk to people about, that we are trying not to seem like pirates?
Look at this emerald we just found, and it's diamond.
the sails
might
blowing.
be a good idea. Yeah, they've obviously got mixed messages about.
Look at this cutlery I just stole, Zumbo, under your command. I got everything of value and put it on deck,
Zumbo,
just like you told me.
Zumbo, what should I do with the bodies?
Zumbo and Hiram, as you ponder about the amount of attention that Katya and Slate are drawing to you all, that leaves 2 more individuals. Balthazar, you say at some point earlier, you kind of emerged up from the brig, having just shut off the portal, and looking around, you can see that there's a number, the prisoners that you freed from the brig below are just kind of like stood around. Some are like, the emotion has caught up to a lot of them now. Some of them are kind of, you can see some of them tearing up, some of them just kind of smiling wistfully as you make your way back to Suzailan. You can see some kind of trading conversations and stories about what happened and how they got here.
I think, with regards to Daisy, him passed Daisy onto Balthazar when they left the ship on the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
And I think Balthazar would have said, "Oh, it's me, Balthazar, Daisy," and then would have brought on to the other side of the portal and sort of left her whilst he was busying or fixing the portal and everything, and has since been afraid to go back to her.
Sure. I mean, in which case, as you're just kind of on the deck, just kind of watching the waves roll by, and overhead you can see some sort of like seabirds, kind of lot, just it almost looks like they're hovering above the ship. Obviously, they're just kind of keeping up with you on the same winds that you're sailing in on.
I think he's desperately trying to keep busy, just to have something to keep his mind on, because he doesn't want to think about what Daisy's going to think about him being a robot.
Sure. I mean, in which case, if you're taking the moment to check in these boxes for cargo, and you open up one and you see an unconscious Draven Marauder stuffed in a crate that seems to be full of rather sharp-looking kind of tent pegs.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of been hastily thrown into.
Yes, right.
From behind you, you hear,
excuse me.
Is that you, Balthazar?
Hello.
and as you turn and look down, and looking up for you, and he has to crane his head quite a significant way. You see this little wombat looking back
pick
up
him
at
up
you.
and put him in front of my face.
Okay.
I've been asked to come find you, and I mean, similar to last time, it was actually very easy because you're extremely tall and easy to recognize. But she wanted to have a little chat with you.
Who's she?
This wombat looks at you, blinks at you a few times, and then just goes limp in resignation in your hands, just gives you a dead stare.
Shake. Wait, you dead?
You're, you know, the lady who may or may not be your wife, depending on the validity of the truth of your storytelling.
Oh, right. Balthazar looks down. Oh, okay. Where is she?
She's up on the main deck, up at the front of the ship.
Forecastle.
Forecastle.
So,
Balthazar.
Cat is. You shout that out, and he.
Yes, that's what she said.
Literally just walking past some more loot, just Forecastle.
Balthazar will slowly make his way up there with Balthazar under his arm.
Sure. So as the two of you begin
How big are wombats? Are wombats like a rabbit size, or they're like capybara
No,
size?
they are pretty big.
I feel like capybara is the right kind of like
Yeah.
sort of bit bigger than a capybara.
Yeah.
Bigger than a capybara? Wait, no, hold on.
Koala sized? More?
Like
Capybaras are the biggest rodents.
They
so,
are
but
about
they're
1
not rodents, right?
meter. Yeah, they're about 1 meter in length.
they're
Holy shit.
they're big.
So they're way bigger than.
It is almost immaterial.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you make your way up to the front of the penitent martyr, and your size and the creaking of the wood belays your coming.
Balthazar doesn't look up. He looks like down at his feet,
Okay.
approaching Daisy, I guess.
Sure. I mean, in which case, yeah, you as you're kind of looking up, and you're just kind of so you're holding Balthazar the wombat.
Yeah.
Okay. So as your focus is, as your stare is just fixed on the small of on Balthazar's tail, little pudgy, squiggly tail. You. So as you get to the top of the stairs, you hear
I found him. It was quite difficult. He's really hard to pick out in a crowd.
and like there's a small chuckle, and you hear, "Thank you, Balthazar." And the wombat just kind of wiggles in your hand and kind of breaks free and just drops to the ground. You hear a thud as he hits the deck, and then he just kind of skitters off. And like as you're looking down, and I mean, are you going to look up, or are you still kind of staring at your feet?
Balthazar is kind of agitated and staring at his feet.
Sure.
In a sort of bashful way. I would say bashful? Yeah, just a bit shy and timid way.
In which case, as you kind of look at the plank of wood between your two metal boots, you see a second pair of feet, significantly smaller than yours, kind of step in between yours, and you see a little face look up to you. And given the height difference, this halfling woman can just stand in your shadow and look up, and she only comes to about your waist. So, my wombat here says that your name's also Balthazar.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Balthazar, and you're Daisy Talbot.
Yeah. He tells me that your surname's Talbot as well.
Yeah, it's also Talbot. I think we know each other.
This halfling woman just kind of raises an eyebrow, and she raises an eyebrow. She looks to her feet, turns and looks to her pet wombat, and then you see her taking a deep breath, and she shouts, Balthazar Elliot Dimmick Talbot, you scared me half to death! And there's a boom as she kind of kicks you on the shin and shit!
Balthazar will fall to his knees and give her a hug.
She makes a noise as you kind of scoop her up, and you know she is like a child, like in your grip, given the sheer size difference. And like she freezes up for a moment as you wrap your arms around her, and then you feel her begin to relax, and then as best she can, you just kind of feel some arms kind of try to wrap around your torso, but she can only really kind of get to the sides of your rib cage, if you will.
Daisy, listen, I'm so sorry. I was away and I had to go, and the war was, and then there was an accident, and then afterwards, and I didn't think you would recognize me, so that's why I didn't say who I was. But I didn't think you knew. But now you're here.
Are you saying this whilst like hugging her? Okay. So yeah, you can, like, as you say this, like, you feel the hands on your sides all the way through your confession. And as you kind of slowly release her, and you say that, and then you start to feel a bit of squirming, and you hear, Balthazar, you're crushing me. I can't believe...
Balthazar will pick her up in two hands and put in front of her.
Okay. So as you hold her in front of you like a puppy, she looks... she's just kind of hanging by her armpits as you hold her up. But you notice, like, her eyes are glistening. And she's looking at you with this very kind of sympathetic look. And like, as she kind of looks you up and down, kind of looks at your form, looks at your body, and then finally catches her reflection in the admittedly smudgy reflection of your helmet. She sighs and...
I've grown a bit taller.
I can see that, Balthazar.
There was a bit of an accident.
What did you get yourself into?
It's complicated.
She shakes her head, and your uncle's not going to let you live this down, you know that?
Well, I guess so, but on the plus side, we won't have any issues with the pickle jar now. You know, it's always on that top shelf. Always difficult to get to.
She tries to, like, playfully swat you, but because you're holding her arms, think she can't quite...
Butter will hold her closer, like, probably,
okay,
like, let him rest on his arm.
In which case she goes to hit you and then decides against it. When I've been so worried about you. You didn't come home for midwinters.
Yeah, I lost my memory for a bit. Well, I lost my body well, that's gone, I think. But I lost my memory for a bit, and so I've been kind of making my way, and I joined the Warhounds. That was fun. We fought some illithids, and then we decided to go save the people imprisoned by the Sharans, and that included you. So all come full circle.
And she nods. I can only thank you, she says as she looks to you and your friends, she says, looking over your shoulder. And you too, I suppose, you little fuzzball, she says, looking down to the wombat, who's just kind of like, he's currently got one eye closed, this look of absolute joy on his face as he and scratches behind one of his ears with his claw. And he kind of blinked up. What's happening? And Daisy kind of looks up to you and, well, given that it sounds like you're a hero nowadays. Are you gonna introduce us?
Oh yeah, sure. And Balthazar will, I guess, carry Daisy along on his arm, and say, Hiram, Zombo, Slate. We're missing Katja. Sorry. Yeah, I guess I take them along.
Okay. So, yeah, the rest of the Warhounds, you watch as Balthazar kind of comes down. There's this halfling woman sat on his arm, like a parrot. And, yeah, this kind of plump little grey wombat kind of following behind. And as Balthazar kind of makes his way through the crowds of, well, the prisoners, you can hear the little wombat going,
Hello. Morning. My name's Balthazar. Good to meet you.
We already met?
I know, to the prisoners. And, like, the Suzailans are looking at one another and... Did that wombat just... Is that a talking...
They just got captured by Athelians, and their biggest concern is a talking wombat.
I mean, it is kind of strange.
Maybe it was like an afterthought of, like, the Athelians. They're like, oh god, is my brain there?
Has it been melted?
Compartmentalizing. Like, you can't deal with the big things, so you focus on the small things.
So Balthazar approaches the rest of you.
Balthazar will introduce Daisy as his wife to the Warhounds.
Okay, and yeah, so this little halfling woman kind of looks at you in turn, kind of nods and smiles, and kind of, as you know, after all the introductions, she apologizes, and I'm afraid Balthazar's not really written to tell me anything about you, but I can only thank you for keeping him safe, because if I know Balthazar, he's probably been a bit of a handful.
Miss Talbot, the truth of the matter is Balthazar's been keeping us.
Daisy kind of looks to you, Katya smiles, looks up to Balthazar, looks you in your eye to glowing blue eyes, and then she turns back to you, Katya, and kind of lifts a finger and misses.
Ooh.
I thought that's what I said. Apologies.
Daisy then thinks about it for a minute, and and she reaches under this. So she's got this kind of purple, like mauvey kind of scarf on, and she begins loosening it. And you can see she's got some sort of necklace on, and like she fiddles and unclasps it from the back, and then she pulls this necklace free. You notice that there are two relatively simple gold rings on it, and she lets the two slide off the chain. She pops it in her pocket, and then she puts one of the rings on her left ring finger, and then she just has one left in the palm of her hand, and she looks to you and says, they sent this back without any real explanation. I mean, she looks at your hand. You might have to get a bit creative. But I don't think it'll fit anymore.
Late? Do you have any more scraps left?
Probably, but I mean, maybe that chain. We could wear it as a bracelet. A ringlet.
Around the neck.
Or
around the neck for you.
Around the wrist.
Yeah, by the looks of it, you could probably wear it as a wristlet if it was put back on the chain.
Oh, on the chain, right. Can I use like a mending cantrip to try and like put it inside or like on his finger, on his gauntlet, to just like set it in there?
Oh, nice.
I fully suspect you could. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that could work.
Okay, so in which case, yeah, you take it, and you know that you'll be able to use some magic at some point to effectively embed this in your frame in one way or the other.
Mrs. Talbot?
Yeah.
I just have a very sort of odd idea. Please feel free to shut me down. But this seems like quite a joyous moment between you and Balthazar. Mayhaps you have someone who can wed you. Why not renew your vows together?
She kind of blinks and well, she looks to you. I mean, I don't really know how to tell you this, Balthazar, but I mean, the vows are until death do you part, and he did die.
Oh, you're right.
And the captain of a ship has full authority to marry. And she
Zumbo,
pats
is that
Zumbo
right?
on the backs. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's probably been quietly sort of sobbing to himself and trying not to, and like slowly turning into water and sinking. As Katia slaps him on the back, he kind of jerks back into solid form. Yeah. I'd be delighted.
In which case, like, yeah, Daisy smirks and looks to you, Balthazar, and well, what do you say?
Of course.
Will you marry me?
Sure. I think Balthazar will take Daisy and Zumbo and go to like the front of the ship.
Yeah.
And like hold the mini ceremony there.
Yeah. Okay.
And as if they are there, then Balthazar will recite the words. Wait, Zumbo, do you start or I start?
To be honest, lad, I haven't really done one of these before.
Daisy looks to you, Balthazar, looks to you, Zumbo, and says, "Don't worry, it's okay." And she looks to you, Balthazar, and we know what to do. We've done this before.
Right. Oh, you have it? Oh.
Have it!
Yeah.
You have the spell?
Of course I have the spell. And I have the spell slot left too.
Lovely.
Nice.
Okay, so in that case, so just to set the scene, then we've got Zumbo at the front of the ship, looking a bit confused. We have Balthazar and Daisy stood in front of them, and Hiram, you're kind of stood behind and sort of like channeling divine will.
I am feeding the lines to Zumbo.
Yes.
The prompt cards.
Leading down and whispering in. Beautiful. Okay, so yeah, Zumbo, you're being fed the lines by Hiram. As you say them, the two of them are responding. It comes to the point, one thing we've gotten, it comes to the point where we have our vows to give. Daisy smiles, and then she recites a vow out. Balthazar, you just kind of have this flood of memories come back to a relatively small gathering in a field near your uncle's bed and bath. There's a number of kind of pews filled, covered in halflings, all suited and booted. And for a flickering moment, you can almost see the pristine white veil kind of around Daisy's head as she says the words. As she finishes, she, prompted by Hiram, Zumbo looks to you and asks for your vows. You're gonna need to remember them, buddy.
What was it? Not what I said.
Listen,
how does marriage work?
do you remember your vows, Balthazar?
What do you mean vows? I thought you just say I do and that's it, right?
Your marriage vows. No, you gotta make your vows before you say I do.
Can I make a roll for this?
Well,
how do vows work? Because I have no real life knowledge of this. So
yeah,
you either do the standard or you write your own.
Yeah. I mean, and you definitely wrote your own Balthazar, didn't you?
Right.
And let's see.
Write them to me, please, in the chat.
Let's
Somebody.
see if you can remember them. I mean, the way I'm looking at it, I mean, if you're going to remember them, then you should probably kind of look at some sort of history check. But I suppose what's really prudent is that, when you said them, I suppose it constitutes knowledge from a previous life, right?
I would do. Hold on. Do I need to roll for that? Where is my thing? Hold on. Ah, it is. Here we go. Knowledge. Hold on. I'm quickly Googling wedding vows for halflings. I don't know if that exists.
It's fine.
If not,
So-
what Slate will do is just kind of like feed ideas of what they think is like sort of vowy things. Like, I promise that if you need some clothes, I can help you to find some clothes forever.
Well,
I can help you find some clothes forever. I
Like, as-
promise to...
So you're saying this as you're struggling to remember, but like Daisy, you focus on the memory of Daisy in the white veil, and the white dress, and the summery dress. You remember the sounds of the birds and the sobbing from the crowd, like from your mother, and the way that the sun kind of danced over the whole event, and as you kind of focus in your memory starts to build more and more to the point where you see your own hands holding those of Daisy's, and they're small and halfling-like. You remember how the cuffs seemed a bit tight, and you were complaining about them before you kind of went on with the ceremony, but you see that the cuffs kind of strangling your wrists a little bit. But as you say that, as that memory comes to you, so does your vow, as your memory completes, and you're able to recite the same words that you said all those years ago.
Amazing. I rolled a 6 on a d6, so that must mean something.
Perfect. You absolutely aced it.
Do you, Daisy Talbot, take me, Balthazar, to be your lawfully wedded husband?
Daisy giggles and yes, I do.
Fireworks.
Oh, yeah, I'll try and do some sort of ridiculous magic tricks to kind of make it look very...
Do it.
Hey.
And we
Very
definitely
good.
still have the fairy fire on the main sail glowing
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is goddamn magical, guys.
blue and purple. What else
The
can we
most
throw?
touching ever.
What else can we throw at it? I think that might do it.
Sure.
Oh my
Well,
god, and in the background, as you say your vows, after you're done, you hear a cannon just going bang in the background. Everybody has finally found the cannon.
What's his name from the other ship? The character I play.
Like
Subtle.
Settle.
Oh,
Brother- Oh, I love weddings! He's firing his cannon off.
In which case, as the vows are given, the I do's are spoken, and Zumbo, you officially complete this ceremony with the aid of Hiram.
Amazing.
You hear from one of the other Blue Dragon vessels. We're approaching the docks. Prepare to drop anchor. And as you begin to
that's
slow,
my job.
Not you, Balthazar. You probably get
Wait, hold
probably
on.
get the day off.
I'm in charge of this.
As the ships begin to slow, and you begin to pull into the docks of Suzailan, we'll grab a 10-minute break.
Amazing.
I want to say, like, I think that at the end of that, I know we're doing a break now, but I think Slate would say, it really seems that the best kind of ship is love.
The Chiron drinking the bottle of whiskey. Having too much. Yeah.
Turn into a water elemental, just.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Right, I will see you all in a little bit.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Hello. My name is Jig, newest member of Warhounds. Jig is becoming very brave goblin after meeting Warhounds because Warhounds show Jig magic of subscribe button. Jig loves subscribe button. Jig want to share subscribe button. Jig want you to press subscribe button. You do for Jig, yes?
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good to be
Hi.
That
Hi.
was a sweet little moment we
That
had.
was sweet, wasn't it? Aww.
Truly
Look at us.
touched.
Yeah, but also if you remember in the beginning, Dan was like, "Oh, nothing good will happen this episode." That was the loveliest.
Yeah. I've spent the 10-minute break figuring out how to ruin it, but we'll see how well that drops.
Wait, my first D&D wedding. What about you guys? Is it your first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah. Oh.
Although Dan may not be mine. I think Group may have done something back in the 4th edition.
In which case, inspiration for everyone but Carl. Hey! Wedding ruined. Cool.
Wait,
Right.
I have
Fine, I'll
23
go-
AC now as well.
I'll go have my own wedding with blackjack and hookers.
Excuse me?
God,
So,
got to December for that.
we rejoin the Warhounds as they, like, a short while after pulling into the, and Zumbo, you're a little bit worried about it, but pulling into the docks in the Citadel of the Purple Dragons in the southeastern corner
right.
of Suzailan.
Oh, we didn't go in the commercial dock. We went.
You did not go in the commercial dock. No, you did not. No,
Oh,
escorted by the Cormyrian Navy to the Citadel. You go. So, yes, your disco boat is slowly kind of tugged into dock. It's been quite some time since the penitent martyr has been to shore, it would seem, because Zumbo, you're acutely aware of all of the blue and purple dragons who are stood kind of within the Citadel grounds, all just kind of staring and looking at you. Even from here, you can still see a number of confused looks from the sentries posted on the harbour towers, as this as Cormyr's premier prison ship with a peculiar new flag rolls in. As you know, as the ship is properly docked and secured, you all also notice that this half-orc still hasn't taken her eyes off you. Seemingly hasn't even blinked since she last laid eyes on you. But sure enough, you eventually kind of make it off the vessel and make your way into the Citadel itself. Well, into the Citadel grounds, I should say, itself. So as you step off and the ex-prisoners kind of leave with you, you see some of the purple dragons kind of rushing to action and kind of going up to the commoners and checking how they are and kind of finding out their names and whatever, so they know who's going where. When you hear you see there's a visible commotion within the Citadel. You can see a number of purple dragons kind of looking over their shoulders with looks of kind of anger or concern or shock on their faces. And as the crowds part, striding towards you with a cadre of purple dragons and the like, comes a very prominent figure.
Oh.
As Raedra Oberskir strides across the Citadel dock grounds towards you. And you can see that there's a number of soldiers that are just kind of looking at her as she goes, and there's a mixture of, as I say, kind of shock, anger, confusion, frustration across their faces. And you've spent enough time with Raedra to know that although she's got her eyes locked on you, you can see them ever so slightly flickering to the sides to see the gazes of these purple dragons who we assume, only a few weeks ago were fighting tooth and claw to bring this woman down.
Yeah.
And as she arrives and she kind of sees all these commoners spreading out, she tilts her head to you, and I see the Warhounds have another job well done.
I know you're talking about the flag, yes. So it was a group effort, if anything.
Raedra goes to correct you, but then she's spent enough time with the Warhounds to know, and she just kind of catches herself, and then, yes, it's. I assume that was a artistic marvel of yours, Slate.
Well, we all chipped in, but
And she nods to you, and she looks at this vessel behind you, and looks to you all really, and so this is the penitent martyr, is it? I've never seen it in the flesh, so to speak.
Well, we wanted to rescue the people on board. The Sharans, they were doing some bad stuff. They had Apollo in there.
Raidra's brow furrows. Yes, I think it would be prudent if we went somewhere a bit less, she looks around, a bit less public, and discussed what you found. I suspect that there is the threats that face us and Suzailan are more insidious than we had expected.
Sure. And we'll follow along, I guess.
And well, she's like, she says that, and like she turns to do a very kind of sharp exit like she tends to, and again she stops herself, she catches herself, and it's like she's pondering for a moment, and then she looks back and looks to you all with a softer, more sincere face on her, and says, "Are you all right?"
Yeah, all accounted for.
We
had a wedding.
Here.
yeah,
Sorry, what?
it was.
Got married.
You were busy then,
Yeah.
Ranger says, and she doesn't really know whether to kind of smile or be more horrified that you chose this moment.
Yeah.
But she kind of looks to you, and yeah, like, so at that point she then, more confused, turns her back to you and begins wandering off and kind of gestures for you to follow. And
True.
as you begin kind of walking off, one of the prisoners kind of runs out in front of you and kind of like stops you all. Sort of like, who's leading the pack?
Katja
married
or
couple?
Hiram? Or both of
I'd
them?
imagine Stumbo? No? That's alright.
Yeah. So Matt's just running in and out, so...
Sure.
Oh, hey guys.
Well,
the first mate should be in charge, maybe.
well, I mean, I thought so. This commoner kind of jumps out and kind of gets in your way, puts her hands up, and I know this is I don't want to be an upstart, but we just wanted to thank you. If it weren't for you, we'd all be dead. We'd be those things.
You're welcome.
And no, thank you, Warhounds. You've saved us all. And as she says that, like one of the other commoners, like one of the other prisoners, steps forward and like begins clapping. And slowly but surely, you hear a few more claps that slowly begin to morph into an applause, and then there's a couple of cheers, and before long, Katya, your heart swells as you start hearing chants of "Warhounds, Warhounds, Warhounds," and you see the purple dragons looking around a bit shocked and confused, but then some of the others of you notice that some of the purple dragons kind of chuckle to themselves, smirk, and then they begin joining in with the applause and occasionally shouting the Warhound's name. And like Raedra has stopped and turned and is just kind of watching this applause spread, this celebration spread through the Citadel grounds, and she turns so you can't quite see it, but she lets off a little smile as you follow on and leave the Citadel.
Yeah,
and the rapturous applause.
Listen to that, everyone. That's what being a hero sounds like.
Yeah, it's a bit unsettling. I've not been applauded before.
Well, get used to it.
First for me.
Also, in your face, Reeves.
Yes, yeah. There's a speck of indignation from the crowd. So, yeah, as you emerge out onto, Raedra is accompanied by some purple dragons, probably for her own safety. Yeah, as you step out the Citadel grounds.
As we head out, can Katya grab Zumbo for a moment?
Yeah.
Like, as they sort of like through the crowds, the occasional applause, she sort of like scurries up next to Zumbo and she's like, I think the second time I've seen you behind a helm of a ship, and it definitely seems to suit you.
Oh. Yeah, thanks, Katya. Yeah. I can't say I was taken with that one, to be honest. Big tub of the thing. No, I think they can have that one back.
Well, I was wondering, like, and she looks back towards the Dragonmere and she's like, what is it about the Dragonmere that you're so attached to?
Oh, it's just, it's freedom, Katya, out there. There's no laws except what you can make. And no one telling you can't do stuff. No wanted posters. Brilliant.
I mean, I understand that one, but I don't know, there's something about the Dragonmere that, to me, knowing there's a coast on the other side, it's not as much freedom as you could have. Have you ever thought about maybe a different sea? Maybe the trackless sea. I think probably suit you a little bit better.
You know, you got a point there, yeah. Maybe once we've settled up here, we'll look into it together.
I like that. It sounds like a plan.
Oh.
I'll help you achieve true freedom.
Look forward to it. Sounds like there could be a song or two in it as well.
Maybe. Maybe a little bit of a franchising opportunity, but at the end of the day, you're a friend, Zumbo. And I think it's more than you deserve.
No, thanks, Katya.
Anytime. And she suddenly starts, like, she skips off ahead and she starts playing the Zumbo song she's written.
Okay.
See, I can't help but remember the last time Zumbo had a heart-to-heart about future and plans and whatnot. Was it Badger just before she died? So I'm like, oh no, Katya is next.
Oh no, Dan's smiling. Never trust a smiling DM.
So, as led by the sound of Katya's playing, Raedra kind of leads you from the citadel in the southeastern corner of Suzailan towards the center of the city. As you lot break onto the promenade, the main street that runs east to west through the city, Raedra stops for a moment, just like stops in the street, seemingly oblivious to the stares and looks from the civilians and guard, like purple dragons around her. And you notice that her eyes are just kind of fixed on the castle, on the royal palace. And you watch as her eyes are just watching the flag of Cormyr just kind of lazily drift, like just kind of blow in the wind. And it's like she's frozen in time for a moment, and then you see her take a deep breath, and she turns to you and, I know somewhere that's nice and quiet, she says. And she...
Wait. On second thought, let's not go. 'Tis a silly place.
Raedra looks to you, blinks a few times, and... Sorry, what silly place?
You know, the royal castle.
Monty Python? From the Holy Grail?
She knows.
So, Raedra... Raedra begins heading kind of west-northwest from the center of the city. You pass the construction of the Dragon Riders Club, and you find yourself stood outside a very familiar location as you approach the Six Candles.
Yeah, I was going to say candles. The Sixer, is that right?
The Sixer, yeah. And within the Six Candles, the barmaid, Rosalina, is busily just kind of wiping the surfaces down to make sure they're clean, in inverted commas, when the door opens and the ex-monarch of Cormyr walks through her doors. And this red-headed barmaid looks up, sees Raedra, and, well, blow my tits, she says, as Raedra and the rest of you Warhounds walk in. Oh
dear.
And Raedra just kind of nods to the patrons in turn. Warhounds, as you walk in, you notice that there's like a few... It would seem as if there was some sort of fight here recently. Some sort of scuffle. And like there's some tables broken, there's you can see this kind of blonde-haired barmaid just like with her skirt hiked up above her knees, and she's kind of trying to scrub what looks like a blood stain out of some of the wood panellings. And yeah, this Rosalina, the barmaid, just kind of slowly nods and, "Mom?" she says, and Raedra like approaches the bar, kind of stands up straight, and it's that kind of royal authority in her shoulders that she holds, that she just kind of naturally goes to, and then again she seems to catch herself, and her shoulders kind of loosen a bit. I understand. I'm here to see a friend. I understand he'd be here. And Rosalina kind of looks at Raedra, leans over to look at you behind her, and
yeah, he's downstairs, Mum,
she says, and Raedra nods. As Raedra heads through the Six Candles, she kind of looks over to you, Hiram, if you're near her, and for a secret hideout, it's not particularly secret, is it?
That's what I was going to say.
Not really, no. I mean, there's a lot going on with this whole secret operation that's not particularly secret.
He did say it was shockingly easy to put together.
I can't believe he came back here after the mess he made. Why not find a new place?
Yeah. Also, can I just say how nice it is to see an aftermath of a fight that people are not part of? Like, I'm just really enjoying not being ground zero for once.
I mean, we technically were the cause of.
I'm just saying, we didn't do this. Let me have this title. Let me have this.
Outsourcing your violence.
I mean, I blame Magnus.
I mean, you blame Magnus for everything.
As you say that, Slate, the trapdoor opens. And, blame me for what? You hear a voice kind of echoing up from the basement, and as you go downstairs, in the basement of the Six Candles, you sure enough you find 4 individuals who look well. At first, you see 4 individuals, and they all look a bit zonked. They all look a bit tuckered out. Arin seems... Well, Helenus and Axakas for sure. So this, dark-skinned, kind of ranger-looking woman and the red-skinned tiefling mage. They look just a bit borderline traumatized. Arin also looks a bit confused, but then, looks up to you and smiles. Magnus approaches you, walks into the main room, completely matter-of-factly, as if this is just another day in the life of Magnus Cobbleson.
For Magnus, it was a Tuesday.
Yes. And Magnus, repeats himself. What's my fault? He says. As he says that, you notice that in the room behind him, there is what appears to be 5 more wombats.
What?
And from your number, you hear, "Oh, friends!" As Balthazar the Wombat kind of leaps from your shoulder and kind of scurries off between Magnus's legs, and oh god, not another one. And Balthazar the Wombat joins these other 5 wombats that just kind of they're lazily just kind of lolling about and just kind of rolling on their backs, or just staring at the wall from an extremely close distance, or just 2 of them are sniffing each other's backsides and just kind of rotating in a circle. These wombats seem completely out of it. And you just hear, "Hello, my name's Balthazar. How are you?" And Magnus kind of nods to you all, and you made it back. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah. And then Raedra walks down the stairs, and and you almost instinctively see him suck his tummy in a little bit. Hello. Hello, my lady, he says, as Raedra walks down, and Raedra rolls her eyes and, "Let your stomach out, Magnus," she says.
At this point, Slate will lean over to Hiram and go, "Still got any of that marriage spell left?"
I really do.
Magnus looks to you and, well, you're all here, so I assume that everything worked. Either everything worked, or you were detected and chased off before you even got there.
And the fact that you're all here makes me think that either everything went to plan, or you were detected and chased off.
Yeah,
Actually,
are those wombats your spy network, Magnus?
Arin gives you this, shakes his head with this... Sorry, Helenus looks at you with this 1,000-yard stare. Just shakes her head slowly.
Oh, okay. Don't ask about the wombats. I get it. Yeah.
I kind of want to ask about it, though.
Axakas kind of snaps to, and eventually we're told that we hope that the spell will wear off, but until then, we are wombat sitting. She says with a shrug.
So who are they? Normally.
As you say that, you hear,
it's very rude not to say hello back.
You hear, and there's a whomp. You turn around just in time to see Balthazar the Wombat clock one of these other wombats around the head. The one that's just kind of laying on its back, rolling from side to side like a beach turtle. And as he connects, there's a poof of smoke. And the wombat turns into a small female goblin.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Chick sits up
Hands
and...
back together!
What happened? You hear this goblin shout.
We all need to get out of here right now before some dust falls from the ceiling or something.
And this goblin looks to you and sort of like rubs her eyes, peers, like, and they glow brighter, like a brighter pink than before. And then she rubs them again.
Warhounds!
Dick!
Dick!
And like her face breaks into this wide beam, and then immediately switches to confusion. And then she looks at you and Warhounds. And then she looks down at the wombats that are kind of like paddling around her, and Warhounds, pointing at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Warhounds, she says, questioningly, pointing at the.
You can see Katya look off for a moment, and then sort of walk into the room, kneel down by Jick, is like, Jick. Which one of these is Midnight Raven?
Jick looks to you and.
Oh, what Midnight Raven?
Katya does.
Jick looks and looks at these wombats, stands up and like pulls what looks like a small totem fetish, like a totem club, out of her pocket, and then systematically donks, just like cracking these wombats on the head. And with each crack, puff of pink smoke, the wombats turn back one by one into the war dogs. And
Just if we get to like not be Midnight Raven, just don't hit him. Just leave him as a wombat. It's a massive improvement.
Unfortunately, like there's a donk. The two wombats that are like sniffing each other's asses. As Jick clonks them on the head, they turn back into this half drow bard and a small halfling pugilist. And like as Bodger like comes to, he looks around, has a fleeting memory of what has just transpired, and oh no, he says, as he kind of rolls away from Midnight Raven's backside.
Zombo's looking around and is like, hang on, where's the smelly one?
So Malka kind of stands up, and as she stands up, like a bit confused and delirious, of, where are we? As she hits her head on the ceiling, because being 9 foot tall in a basement does not suit well. And she kind of crouches, and what do you mean the smelly one?
You
Also,
know, your
hello,
leader,
everyone. She
Mongo, was it? Strong name, I thought.
She looks to you and well, and this Goliath looks a bit kind of sheepish and a little bit sad. He unfortunately he didn't make it.
Oh.
But we have a replacement.
Oh.
This is Jick. She seems to be quite an erratic spellcaster.
Yes.
That's one way of putting it.
I think we need some drinks. I'm gonna go get some drinks. Who wants some drinks?
I'll follow up to Hiram, and Zombo be like, why did they get her? What?
Yes, Anton?
Olive oil for me, please.
Okay.
I see what I can do.
And Bodger just kind of barges his way past. And as all this happens, so Balthazar, you've not really spent a lot of time downstairs because it is also quite cramped. But like as you kind of shout for the olive oil, you hear like a titter from Daisy. And she kind of like, she looks around, and I mean, she recognizes Raedra, and she just kind of leans over and, could I maybe have some wine, please? And Raedra, shrugging, of course, she says, and Raedra just heads up to the bar and begins ordering like the most expensive drinks, which aren't particularly good quality, but they are the most expensive. And as you all kind of like filter upstairs, the war dogs kind of stay in the basement a bit confused, but as you kind of all head up, Magnus comes with you. Balthazar, you're stood next to Daisy, and you notice that she's kind of looking up at you with this kind of curious look, and like she gestures for you to come down to her level, and like she tries to figure out like where your ear would be, and then she kind of leans in to whisper and says, we definitely need to discuss the sleeping arrangement.
Sure.
I think you've outgrown our bed.
I don't really sleep. I just stand by.
And she looks a bit sad, and then I suppose there's more room for me then, she says.
See it that way.
And as she kind of says that with this kind of this grin on her face, and like as you straighten up, you hear, well, looky who we have here. If it ain't Daisy Talbot in the flesh. And as you turn around,
Oh God!
you see Bodger stood with his fists on his hips, with this shit-eating grin on his face.
He's from the opposite halfling clan, isn't he?
Of all the beautiful faces to meet in a place like this, and it just so happens to be yours. How are you, my darling? He says. And Daisy, oh, hello, Bricks.
Bricks?
Are you keeping well? How's your father? She says, and he, oh, yeah, he's alright. But not as good as me for seeing such a beautiful gleaming ray of light such as you in a dismal place like this.
Oh my god.
I tell you what, it's been too long. Let me get you a drink. Excuse me, buddy. And he sort of like tries to push you away, Balthazar. He tries to put his arm around Daisy and kind of lean you off. And,
No.
it's been hard for you, love. I understand.
Balthazar will grab
you can
Daisy
tell, Bricks.
and plunk her on his shoulder again.
Oh, that's a bit disrespectful, mate. Like she didn't, you don't have to barge in like that.
Right.
Yeah,
He gets plunked on the head with the shitty stuff. No way.
And oh, come on, mate. No harm, Ben. It's just me and Daisy go way back. You could say that we've got a bit of a connection. I'm just, and given that fate has brought us together into the same place, then perhaps,
I will have you know that we are just newlywed, just married. So too late, buddy. Got there first, and I'll show the ring. Literally in like the fist, like the gauntlet. Put a ring on it.
And
Bodger
looks from Daisy to you, and sort of like rolls his eyes and, oh, she moved on quick, he says. And he just kind of saunters off and grabs a drink from the bar that you hear someone go, oi! He just, oi! And he stops as he goes to pass you again and looks up to Daisy and, well, if you ever have a change of heart, darling, you can't go wrong with a bingle.
Oh god! At this point, Hiram is gonna walk up to Balthazar, give him the glass of olive oil, and say, that ceremony also covers funeral rites.
Okay.
And yeah, Bodger disappears downstairs. You can't help but notice there's a hint of forlorn on his face.
Oh.
The one that got away.
Oh.
I think it's one of the ones that got away.
So, yes. So you're upstairs at the Six Candles, and Raedra and Magnus are sat with you. Are you taking the opportunity to kind of explain everything that's been happening? Raedra seems very intrigued by this story of portals.
Out of character, I think we can be up front, right? Like we basically work for Raedra now, right? As I understand it. Like we work for the Warhounds, Anyway,
Raedra and Ezreal are on the same page now, aren't they? So
but also at this point, it's basically everyone against the cult, so might as well.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
we're okay.
Yeah, we'll tell her then.
Okay. In which case, Raedra kind of takes it all in, and I mean, she looks, genuinely concerned, as you might expect someone to. And kind of Magnus is kind of pondering over a story, and the fact that the Sharans and these, you say that you watched one of the Sharans actually get infected by this creature. It crawled under his mask.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks to you. What you saw down in the brig is what is sometimes referred to as seromorphosis. It's the process of mind flayer reproduction. You spoke of this pool on the flying Nautilid ship, and it had those creatures in it.
Before I set fire to it.
Before you set fire to it. And that's a good thing that you did, because those creatures will burrow into a host's brain, slowly devour the brain piece by piece, eradicating the memories and the emotion of the host piece by piece, and then replacing the brain, inserting themselves in lieu of the host's brain. From that point, the host's body will begin to violently and grotesquely morph and change until in approximately a week after implantation, the host is fully transformed into a mind flayer.
Yeesh.
Those poor individuals you saw after you stepped through the portal, and it sounds like they were partly through the process of seromorphosis, and I wouldn't feel bad if they perished in the flames. Realistically, the people they once were died days ago.
There was one that was somewhat still human enough that I could peek into their mind, but they didn't last long enough, and I kind of saw something else.
What was that?
It was like every Ithilid.
Illithid.
Illithid. I got it right first time. It was like every Illithid was talking at once, and there was something asserting its dominance over them. Something like a super mind flayer?
Magnus furrows his brain, and I've heard that the mind flayers are linked, but I don't know what it is that controls them, he says as he ponders about it. A chair kind of scrapes across the floor as it's pulled out, and Axakas sits down at your table, and she looks to you, and the Elder Brain.
That's a terrible name. We're going to keep with Super Mind Flayer.
Mega Flare.
Mega Flare!
Axakas smirks and carries on. At the heart of every Mind Flayer colony is the Elder Brain. It is exactly as it sounds. A grotesquely oversized brain that is psionically powerful enough that it can reach out and communicate with every mind flayer within a large radius around it. The mind flayers will do everything to protect the Elder Brain, as without the brain, the colony ceases to exist. I feel that perhaps you might have encountered this, Katia. You would be wary to not expose yourself to the influence of the brain, for it is the brains are supposedly experts at domination of the mind.
That's all very interesting, but how do we find it and how do we kill it?
She ponders, and Rager kind of butts in. It sounds like it's in another world, so another realm. Perhaps they're stuck there.
Maybe. But what you're saying, Axakas, is that as long as this brain thing's alive, the mind flayers are just going to keep coming, right?
Axakas kind of makes a face and agrees. The fact that, from what I hear, the fact that these Sharans, this Project Implacable, are actively seeking out people to put through Ceramorphosis, that's troubling. It would seem almost as if they're deliberately trying to increase their numbers, much like an army recruits to swell its numbers. And
So now we just need to somehow find a way to another world, find this super brain, and
Mega Flare.
oh, sorry, Mega Player.
And we can't use Katya.
Do we need to reach out to the... Wait, oh! Githyanki or Gesserai? Githyanki.
Neither. I mean, honestly, do you actually want to reach out to the them and not to the?
It's written down somewhere.
Yeah, no, it was more. Which one is it, Githyanki or Githzerai?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Githyanki.
It is.
I think that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yes, I finally got it right.
hey! Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I thought you meant reaching out to the Dragonborn who was hunting them.
The golden chain, is that what they're called?
Yeah, the gold. Yeah.
Like everyone at the table turns around and, who?
The golden chain.
Magnus looks kind of hurt that you've become friends with an organization and not told him.
I imagine the Golden Chain call their mothers.
Magnus rolls on. I had reasons, you know. He kind of mumbles under his breath.
Shitty reasons.
Sort of like, Raydra inquires as, Raydra turns to him. Who are this Golden Chain?
They hunt mind flayers. I think
They're very generous with their money.
Yeah.
Too generous.
Too generous.
She nods. Okay. Well, if you feel that they'll be good in the fight, then it would be wise to reach out to them, yes. And Helenus has also joined the table. She's they've been listening in to everything that's been said. And Helenus, I mean, if they're building an army, then I mean, I suppose we have to ask as many allies to help us as possible, right? Who else can we reach out to? If we reach out to this order of the Golden Chain, we'll see. She looks to Raydra. We have between you and Ezered, we have the loyalty of the purple dragons and the blue dragons, I suppose. She looks at Magnus. What about the war wizards? And Magnus pulls a face. It would seem there was a bit of an incident at the college. The war wizards are in a bit of a disarray. I'm not entirely sure what it is that happened there. And you all notice that the Arin, Helenus, and Axacas just kind of give him a stare. But I have heard that the Mage Royal has been made aware of these kind of Sharan spies, I suppose you call them, and he's been busying himself rounding them all up. So the war wizards kind of busy at the moment, self-policing, just trying to figure out where all the traitors are.
They do owe us, though. I mean, well, not us, but they owe you, Balthazar. I'm sure you're due quite a lot of compensation. You know, they did. You know.
Blow you up.
Workplace accident.
Mm.
I think you're right. No, I haven't thought about it. I need to get a wizard lawyer.
Magnus.
Magnus
kind of shrugs. I mean, give them a bit of time, and I'm sure that the war wizards will be able to support us. He says, with a hopeful but slightly skeptical look on his face.
Maybe we can. Could we reach out to Shantra and Garib? I know it'll be hard, but they could help. They know this kind of.
Who do you want to reach out to?
Garabrail.
Shadra and Gabriel.
I think
As you
if
say-
they go to the gold chain, they would contact them if they think if there is a need for it.
As you suggest that, oh yeah, we'll reach out to Shana and Gabriel. You see Raedra turn her head to you. She tilts her head slightly. What?
Gabriel.
But not that Gabriel, the actual Gabriel, the one who didn't try to murder you.
You see, like, Raedra struggle to swallow that thought, and currently, the nations of Cormyr and Cormanthor are still at peace and allied. So yes, we could reach out to the elves and see if they will help us. She pauses for a minute and hopefully they won't repay the favor when they ask us for help at the Battle of Mithranor.
Well, this could affect them, so, this is kind of scratch your back, scratch our back kind of situation, except where it's like scratch the mind flayers away from the back.
Oh, that's an
It definitely works
image.
somehow.
But jokes aside, at least we should give them the option to choose. We can't decide for them from the get-go. They're like, oh, because we have been awful to them, that they are not going to come to our aid.
Exactly.
Okay, so like as you guys gonna mull this over, you kind of look up and you see Magnus, like looking at Raedra with some intensity, and it's almost like they're having a conversation just with their looks at one another.
I'll just look at them and go, get a room.
Raedra looks shocked and confused, and then she kind of catches Magnus's eye again and do it. Send a message to Semberholm. We'll see if the Cormanthians are more noble than we are.
I might also have another idea, although I don't know if you'll like it quite so much.
I've had a day of surprises already, Mr. Marifat. One more can't hurt.
Yeah, well, as it happens, I know a fair few gentlemen and gentlewomen scattered around various islands and in the sea who might be willing to pitch in. Let's say they've fallen afoul of some of the maritime laws of this great realm, and in return for a royal pardon, they might be willing to lend a helping hand.
She kind of looks to you, and it's clear that her thought process is initially filtering through the I'm the queen of this land, and then she's catching herself and going, I'm not the queen of this land. And then, if they can fight, I'm sure my uncle will be more than happy to have them fly the flag of Cormyr, she says, and there's this almost mischievous glint in her eye.
Well, they can certainly fight. They might quibble about the flag, but yeah, I'm sure we can work with that.
Would they be happier under the Warhound flag?
No one would be happy under the Warhounds flag. Let's face it.
And Slate is carrying it still, though.
Honestly, I think they might bring their own.
How about Aradel?
Raedra, who?
Oh, she's like a warhound.
She's retired.
Yeah, Magnus,
owner of the Warhounds.
Has she not retired?
Well, she might have some good contacts.
Magnus thinks about it, and I mean, that's not a bad idea. I mean, Arabelle is bristling with mercenaries and sellswords, but I mean, if Arabelle has the might to fend off the rest of Cormyr on multiple secession attempts, then they might add some much needed power to an allied army. And Raedra Raedra nods. I've always liked the company of Arabellans. It's nice. It's refreshing to talk to someone who gives no shits.
I may have a Hail Mary.
Please, Miss Donahue.
Well, I don't know if they're still operating in the city. I mean, they were very clear that I should leave them well alone, but, you know, I may know of some people who are working in the shadows who might be able to help us. I can try and make contact. Now, Ursula's operation has been destroyed.
Raedra looks at you. She's got a look of, I don't really want to ask too many questions, but if you think it will help, I think we'd all appreciate it.
I'll do what I can.
Also, circling back to something that Slade said.
Yes.
The Githyanki.
What about them?
They are definitely capable of destroying a large amount of the illithids, which we can't really say of anyone else in this setup. However, last time we talked to them, we didn't exactly part in the friendliest of ways. Well, we didn't part from their leader the friendliest of ways. We did try to help some of the others.
Also, here at the last time we saw the Githyanki, they fired a very large beam of energy into a ship we were riding on.
I know.
Yeah, it's their fault that Badger's
I know.
not here.
I do want to point out that probably didn't know we were on the ship, but I'm also aware it would have made no difference to them, probably. I'm not saying that we have to. I'm just saying that if we get desperate, if it feels like there is no other option, it is something that we probably should keep in mind.
They also have ways of traveling in the same way that the Mind Flayers do. That's handy.
Magnus nods, and I mean, if you could figure out how to get them on side, then yes. I mean, well, I know firsthand that they are worthy combatants. I mean, their leader, that Githyanki in the big horned helmet, she tried hell and high water to take part my head from my shoulders. But yeah, if they are able to help us, then that would be fantastic. But I think the problem is we have no idea where they are or how to contact them. I mean, they could be anywhere right now, right?
I could maybe send the sending. It might work.
I mean, maybe let's talk to everyone else first. Let's see what the Golden Chain says, because I think they might be the best prepared for a fight like this. If even they think this is going to be a difficult fight, then we can maybe think about fighting the Githyanki, but not before.
Magnus nods. I'll have my and he looks at you, and you can see that he's desperately wants to say the word spies, but then he goes, I'll have my associates. He gives you a wink, a really big cheesy wink. I'll have my associates speak to these various factions and see if we can get them to converge on Suzailan.
Yeah, Magnus, just say Wombat. Just say Wombat.
They're not wombats!
It's okay. There's no reason to be ashamed of it. I mean, Balthazar is really useful, I think.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so just for clarity, so we are reaching out to Semberholm.
Sure.
We're reaching out to the guilds of Arabelle. We're reaching out to
the Golden Chain.
Golden Chain.
Yeah. The pirates. The Dragonmere.
Pirate Isles, yeah.
The pirates. Obviously, we've already got the purple. Or we've got the purple and blue dragons. And then last ditch,
was Harper's.
Oh, Harper's, yeah.
Harper's. Yeah, all the halflings of Half Hap as well. They're going to join.
They're the shock troops. They're the vanguard.
They're going to form up Geshot style into like a Voltron.
We just tell both clans that the Mind Flayers are the other clan, and just unleash them on each other.
They want to open a bed and breakfast as well across the road.
Also, could Cormyr potentially afford some of those clockwork soldiers?
No, nice idea.
Reach
Yeah,
out.
I like it.
Reach out to Mr. DeCalco.
If he was still in business, didn't we like get him arrested?
Actually, I might talk to my family, see if we can afford it.
I was going to say, your family must have some contacts.
If you got arrested as well, then surely we can get some of those in the the police, whatever it's called, the Purple Dragon auctions. Where
I
they
mean,
sell
I think it would be
repossessed
easier to just hire them, hire new ones. And
I want the auction episode.
Why do I feel like DeCalco is like Justin Hammer from the MCU right now?
We can 100% send envoys out to find out about the Clockwork Corps and what happened to it, because a legion of clockwork soldiers that you saw up in Hullock Forest near the beginning of your adventures, they would be very handy, especially in the face of potential brain-eating monstrosities. So,
I think, sorry, just as a note, Slate would probably reach out to Baz to go, do you think there's any other druids who might be interested in doing this?
And worst case scenario,
helping?
Provide refreshments if need be. Druids.
This is like the Mass Effect where you assemble your companions for the final mission, and you got all the...
Which
not
one of us
annoyed.
is Shepherd?
Magnus is Shepherd.
Malthusar the Wombat is Shepherd. He's the one off in the corner just looting things. Cool.
True.
So Magnus jots this all down, and he has a word with Rosalina, and Rosalina in turn has a word with some of the patrons, and it dawns on you that Magnus's spy network is a bunch of drunk middle-aged men, but they begin to disperse out into the city to kind of go off and accomplish their various bits. And kind of Raedra nods, and there's this kind of look of kind of hope on her face, and then she kind of stops and she's got this look of hope on her face, and she stands, and well, with that in mind, I'll be heading off. I need to check in with my uncle. I'm told that no one's really seen him since he returned to the city, so I'm just going to check in on him, and it'd be nice to see the palace again.
Oh God, is he possessed again or something?
Raedra, I sincerely hope not, she says. And she kind of nods to you, turns, she turns to you all, she smiles, she nods. And she, as she kind of walks past Magnus, she stops. And as you all kind of look and taking a breath, she just gives him two firm claps on the shoulder and then carries on.
You can cut it with a butter knife.
And she gets to the door of the Six Candles. She opens it, and as she does, she kind of looks over her shoulder and says, kind of nods one final time, and then loudly so everyone can hear, "Well done, Warhounds. You're doing a fantastic job." And as she says that, with the door open, you hear a loud like above your heads, and like the building shakes, and Ray just stops and kind of looks up into the sky and like is looking up, and then slowly you start to hear cries of panic and screaming begin to get louder and louder as they spread through the city. And Raedra, you see Raedra's face go white as the colour drains from it, and she just kind of staggers out into the street staring up at the sky.
Oh dear.
One drink. We
should
can't even
prob-
finish one goddamn drink without something going. I don't know. Mind.
Does this even count as a short rest?
What do you do,
I don't think
Warhounds?
it does.
What do you do?
Run outside.
Yeah.
Guess we better get back to it.
Take the escape tunnel.
He's newly married. He's got priorities now.
Like as you hear that, like Daisy looks up to you, and there's a panic look on her face. And Balthazar, what's happening? She says.
Bad things.
And as you step outside and look up, you get like the screams become louder as you step out, because overhead you see a number of ship-like vessels in the skies over Suzailan, surrounding this one large twin-hulled vessel that seems to be hovering over the castle. And as you peer up and watch, you see what appear to be trapdoors on the side drop open, and shapes fall out of them, and then wings unfurl as red dragons begin descending from these Githyanki ships over the city. And as the dragons and the Githyanki begin swooping down towards the streets of Suzailan, elsewhere, in the Shadowfell, with a pained grunt, Aidan Elberth is unceremoniously thrown to the floor, and as he looks down at the alien mosaic design of the tiling under his hands and knees, shaking, every part of his body quivering in fear, he looks up to the large pulsating brain that floats above a briny pool in front of him. The room is radiating, it is glowing in a sickly pinkish light from the pool, and Aidan is acutely aware of the sounds of the creatures swimming around in the mucousy liquid beneath this tentacled brain. He looks up to either side and sees the tall, imposing silhouettes of the black-skinned Mind Flayer Ulatharid Council. And one of them steps forward and telepathically says,
"You've failed. You've allowed one of our breeding stations to be destroyed. Your setback has cost us dearly."
And Aidan kind of grimaces and I'm sorry, I didn't. One of the other Ulatharids steps forward and,
"Your failure will not be tolerated here. Go. May you prove more useful post-transformation."
and Aidan is dragged away by an invisible force screaming into the shadows. Mind Flayers turn to look at the brain, and it pulses with energy. It ripples as if angry, and it peers through the scrying orb in front of it as it watches red dragons fall out of Githyanki vessels above Suzailan. The Ulatharids in unison say,
"What are your orders, Lord Ialum?"
and we will call it there.
We've heard that name before.
What a twist.
Dun, dun.
Congratulations, everybody, on completing session 34!
Hey.
Hey!
Very good.
Thanks, Dan.
Right.
Thank you, everybody.
Right, so, yes, one baddie bites the dust and another steps up to take its place. So, yes, thank you all for playing. I'm excited to see where we go from here. Yeah, if you liked what you saw, then please give us a like and comment down below. It really, really, really helps us. You'll find that there's loads of other videos that you can watch here on the channel. And if you really like the stuff, if you could click the subscribe button, that also really helps us. We release stuff frequently every week, and yeah, it'd be good to have you along for the ride. So with that all said, thank you for watching, thank you for playing, and I will see you next time.
Bye.
Yeah, next time.
Bye.
Bye. With scant moments to rest, the Warhounds are called to action once again as the vicious Githyanki commander, Zinaleth the Hunter, makes her return. How will the city of Suzailan fare against such a fast and unexpected attack from the Astral Pirates? Join us next time to find out. Once again, a massive thank you for watching the video through to the end. Your support is always appreciated and encourages us to keep on doing what we're doing. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and leave a comment on your favourite bit or what you think might be in store for our heroes. Vicious combat encounter ideas are always welcome. If you want to see more of our content, you can watch another video by clicking here, and it would be absolutely amazing if you click the subscribe button here. Go on, you know you want to. So, with all that said, stay safe, and may the realms endure.